This is Strictly Business, presented by the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. Sponsored in part by the law offices of Young Wooldridge, San Joaquin Community Hospital. And now, here's your host, Cindy Pollard, President and CEO of the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce.
And welcome back. Once again, I'm Jimmy Phillips from San Joaquin Community Hospital, filling in for Cindy Pollard today. A very happy Monday to all of you out there in good old Bakersfield. We are joined now by Cheryl Scott, who is the Vice President at the Kern Economic Development Corporation. And we're going to talk about some workforce development issues, as well as a workshop taking place later this week. Cheryl, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about this workshop. We were just talking during the break, and this is a partnership between both the city of Bakersfield and the county of Kern. So tell us a little bit more about it.
It is. It's really exciting because, yes, it is city of Bakersfield and the county of Kern have spearheaded it. Leticia Perez on the county side and Ken Weir on the city side got together and said, maybe we should work more closely together in addressing some of our workforce needs and skills gaps within the area. And then they pulled into the circle Kern EDC, the Chamber of Commerce, America's Job Center, the Kern taxpayers, and several organizations to embark on this effort.
You know, just kind of setting the stage, what do you see as being some of the major workforce development issues here in Kern County and in Bakersfield?
We do know a little bit already because America's Job Center is holding forums based on industry, and that is revealing some of the skills gaps that are already in existence. They include math skills. They're not, employers are seeing that people need to be coming in better prepared with math, technical skills, computer skills. And interesting and sad is that in a lot of cases, it's areas more like emotional intelligence type skills, like being able to control your emotions, resolving conflict, soft skills, it's often called, getting to work on time, knowing that you are expected to be there your entire shift and that you can't just say, I need to leave early 2 hours today, can I make it up tomorrow?
So it's almost some of those kind of the sixth sense that, you know, sometimes you can't really always quantify it, but you know when it's missing, right?
Exactly. So when you're looking at all those different skills gaps, some are skills that can and should be addressed in the education system at the schools, but some, like some of those the sixth sense skills you're just talking about, you know, maybe that should have happened at home when they were children in elementary school. Mm-hmm. So, and some of it can also be solved perhaps through mentoring programs or training programs through local employers. It's going to take the whole community. This is a case where it truly will take a village to close these gaps.
So tell us how the workshop is going to aid in that. Functionally, how is it set up and what's going to be happening?
Well, our first event is this Thursday at the Supervisors Chambers from 9 until noon. Maybe earlier than noon, but this is the first in what will be a series of meetings because our goal is this time to talk about, here's a snapshot of where we are now. Here's what our workforce looks like. Here's what our economic trends are. Here are the type of businesses we're bringing to Kern County, and that's what we do at EDC, so we can see what kind of trends are existing in terms of future workforce needs. And so this will be here's where we are now. And then we'll move forward developing a working group from lots of different organizations, public and private, education, and moving forward over the next 8 or 9 months, hopefully identify the skills gaps and decide how are we going to address these.
So this is a workshop to put together this isn't the technical term, but a task force, if you will, to help address some of these issues on a broad, long-term scale here locally.
Exactly. This will be, we're really hoping to get a good turnout so we can talk with folks in the community from all cross sections, different sectors, education, lots of different groups, and say, here's where we are, who's in to help us improve the situation.
So tell us a little bit about who can attend or who should attend this workshop.
Okay, well, we'd love to see representatives from all industries in the community, for sure. Oil and gas, logistics. We'd like to see educators, I know we at the EDC and also the chamber and the county, we're just really trying to push out information about the event. Anybody who's interested in making Kern County a better place to live and work over the next 10 or 20 years should be there to find out where are we and where can we go from here.
Well, knowing Bakersfield and Kern County, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there, so we're trying to continue to get the word out today. Yep. Tell us one more time when the event is and where people should come to.
Okay. It will be on Thursday, October 30th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the County Supervisors Chambers on Truxtun Avenue.
Perfect. Cheryl, let's continue to talk about the issues that our county is facing. It seems like every day we see some study that comes out, whether it's bad air quality here locally, the least educated county. I know in the healthcare side, we often look at the health indicators, and there's a website out there that you can go to, and it ranks all of the 58 counties in California. And typically, Kern County usually ranks between 56 and 58 in every single health indicator. How do all of these things affect the reputation of the county from your perspective? What do you see in terms of, bringing new businesses in town? Is there a stigma around Kern County?
We have a couple of issues we have to face in that arena for sure. First of all, the fact that Kern County is in California poses one major stigma. And when we're trying to recruit businesses to the area, California is not at the top of most folks' lists. So we have to say, yes, we're in California, but here's why we're different. And then when it comes to the other local issues, you're absolutely right. And in healthcare, when you're trying to recruit a physician from, any place in the country, I've heard lots of situations where the physician was ready to sign on, and then the spouse looked online and saw negative information about air quality and what have you, and then things changed. Yeah. So it all factors in. Yeah, our quality of life in Kern County is very important when it comes to recruiting a solid workforce and recruiting businesses to create jobs for that workforce.
So how do we continue to, because you're parallel or example there with the physicians and often the family not wanting to move here, that really does happen, and it's something that we face on an ongoing it's a challenge that we're going to face. Bakersfield is one of those places, I think, from my perspective, having moved here by choice
Great.
and stayed by choice as well. I think one of the challenges is you really don't know how good of a community this is until you live here, right? Until you're here for longer than a few days. Right. I can imagine that coming and touring the city for a few days doesn't really give you some of those intangibles that Bakersfield offers. How do we, just raise those up to the top when we're trying to recruit in businesses or individuals to take needed positions here in the community?
Well, I think we tried to do this, and lots of other organizations do too, but it's probably not enough. We need to really get our good stories out there. We have a great story to tell. We've been on the leading edge of the recovery from the recession, compared to communities across the country, and in terms of job growth as well. We're at the top of a lot of lists. So we try to put that information out there so when somebody does, let's say, Google Kern County or Bakersfield, some of the good stories are going to be out there too. Another effort is, people who live in Kern County a lot of times have an inferiority complex and feel like, oh, well, I was born here, I was raised here, this is my lot in life. But in reality, it is a good place to live for folks who come into the community. A lot of times they're pleasantly surprised. So those natives of the area, if we can encourage them to see the positives of Kern County, and a lot of us do, but to share the word with people we know across the country. Share the good information about Kern County, not just complain about where you are. A lot of folks leave Kern County and come back, and there are a lot of reasons for that.
That's absolutely true. I've noticed that. When I first was looking into Bakersfield, I didn't know anything about the community at all, so I just started Googling it as well. And on YouTube, there was a video about why Bakersfield is a terrible place to live, and it was just interviews, people going around and interviewing local people, mostly of the college age, which was what I was at the time. And, you know, they were talking about, you know, doesn't have this, this, and this, not a good place to live. I think you're exactly right. Those of us who live here, who value living here, need to be our own best advocates for why people should come and live here and for why people should stay here as well. So I think that there's a lot of truth in that. So we've got a couple of things, you know, we've talked about today. Number one, you guys are putting on this great workshop to develop those who are already living here. And certainly that can be connected to bringing in people that, you know, want to come in from the outside, from a, you know, whether it's business owners, individuals like physicians and stuff. It all functions and works together, right?
Sure does.
Perfect. Well, tell us one more time, the workshop, location, date, time, all that great information.
9 o'clock Thursday, October 30th at the Kern County of Kern Administrative Building on Truxtun Avenue in the Supervisor Chambers.
Perfect. Is there any other key information that anyone should know, or just show up?
Well, I can add that folks who are interested in coming on board and participating in a working group will be treated to lunch so that we can continue the conversation after the workshop is complete.
Who doesn't love a little bit of free food?
Free lunch.
That's a great incentive. All right, you heard it. 9 a.m. October 30th, that's the day before Halloween, so it should be easy to remember at the Supervisor's Chamber on Truxtun Avenue. Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us today and talking about the workshop and broadly some of the economic advantages and disadvantages of Kern County. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Well, we will be back to wrap it up with our closing bell. Please stay with us.